Sign it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the December regularly scheduled town council meeting. I'd like everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So first on the agenda, we have the public comment, which is an opportunity for anyone in the public to come forward and let the council have an opportunity to speak in front of the council on an issue that isn't on the agenda, but the opportunity is yours. Now, remember, this isn't an issue that's on the agenda. This is an opportunity for to speak on so if you want to speak about civil rights and privacy or immigration or flock, that's on the agenda. So that opportunity will be later on in the meeting. This is the public comment period where people have an opportunity to speak on a non-agenda item. You're still gonna, okay. He's coming. Hi. Yes.
Just wanted to comment about the incidents that happened on Veterans Day down on Water Street when some ICE agents came and apprehended a person that worked at Blount Seafood, and there was pretty upsetting to see paramilitary type people, a squad of them coming in and zooming up and down the street and grabbing someone, and I think that's really concerning. So I think the town really needs to respond to that as a community, and I think that I would hope that the council eventually will enact an ordinance of some kind to talk about protecting the civil rights of all the people who work and live here in Warren. And I know the flock cameras are on the agenda, but I'd urge you to vote not to allow any flock cameras to be installed in Warren. But thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, these are for non-agenda items. It's an opportunity for someone to speak, to bring an issue to our attention that's not on the agenda. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next, we have a recognition. We have a recognition of a Warren resident, Mr. Christopher Stone. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here this evening because he has to work tonight. And he's a very responsible young man. And we know this in his actions, and we know this also because Christopher received the highest rank in scouting, and he's an Eagle Scout. So we're going to have him come back hopefully next month when he can coordinate his schedule with our schedule, and we will publicly recognize him other than this right now opportunity that we're giving him. So next month, Christopher Stone, Eagle Scout, will be here. I also should let everybody know I'm not wearing a tie until I can tie one myself. So for those of you who wonder why I don't have a tie, that's the reason. So I'm looking disheveled because that's my look.
I don't have a tie either, Joe.
Well, you don't look disheveled. I guess you don't have a shirt on.
And I
wear
do
a
know how
tie.
to tie one.
So we lighten the mood a little with my tie comment, because as we go about our lives, sometimes our moods can be happy and light, and other times they can be dreary and heavy. And we drag through the day, and our days are miserable, and we wish they would just never end because they're not what we want them to be. But tonight, we're going to look at the side of life that we rarely get an opportunity to look at. And that's where someone's declared dead, and then through the actions of others, brought back to life. And it's pretty remarkable. And it happened here in Warren. Mr. Ed Wojcik, who's sitting right here in the second row, is the reason that we're having this thank you to our DPW workers, as well as our rescue personnel. Ed suffered a heart attack at 9/12. It was what, November 10th? Ed was at Sip and Dip, doing what he usually likes to do. Go and have a coffee, see his former town workers, chat it up. And he probably never thought, because he didn't have anything happen prior to this. He thought it was going to be a good day, and it was. Because at 9/12, he went down. No heartbeat, dead. And Mario Canario, Michael Briggs, Vincent Arangato, and Victor Reese, as well as Jeffrey Moniz. They're all here tonight. Why don't you guys come on down? They began CPR. Chief, why don't you come on down? Ed, this is your first opportunity to see these guys. Okay, Chief.
Thank you, Council President. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys as well, and give the public a rundown of the events of that morning. Mr. Wojcik, great to see you here and to speak to you a few times since. Even some of these details were blurry to you. So it starts on November 10th at approximately 9:12, as Council President said. Warren Police and Rescue were dispatched to a local coffee establishment, Sip and Dip, for report of an unresponsive male. Upon arrival, Warren police officers found CPR already in progress being performed by on-site DPW workers. Officers immediately assisted and advised dispatch to notify rescue that CPR was in progress. Warren Rescue arrived at 9:14 and assumed patient care from police and DPW personnel. And at that time, they also, per protocol, requested additional manpower due to the nature of the incident. On scene initially was a full ALS crew, but with what they were faced with, they wanted more assistance. This request brought additional rescue members and personnel from Engine Company 5 to the scene. I'd like to also ask to come up at this time the couple additional rescue members that showed up that morning: Captain of Rescue Jack Cuzone and Assistant Chief Primiano, both in town that day. Matt was here at work, and we all responded in. These two individuals jumped right in with their skills, adding to the events that we had before us today. CPR continued along with advanced life support measures, including defibrillation and the administration of many medications, for approximately 20 minutes. At 9:35, the patient regained spontaneous heartbeat. And as per protocol, that determines that we stay on scene another 10 minutes, continuing that advanced life support. So it was done. After that 10 minutes, transport to the hospital took place. And just to close it out, by the time that crew left the hospital, Mr. Wojcik was sitting up and talking to him, conscious and alert. It's without question that the immediate actions of the DPW workers initiating CPR and promptly alerting the emergency personnel directly contributed to the successful recovery that we have before us today. So on behalf of myself, I'm grateful for all of your response and what you did, but I'm going to turn it back over to Council President for the acknowledgement from the Town Council.
This is just a little something to let you know physically what you do emotionally to us and for us. In recognition of successful life-saving measures performed during a critical incident that occurred in Warren on November 10th. This is for the Warren Rescue. And Mario, it reads the same. Thank you. And Victor's not here. And Vincent is where's Vincent? Vincent, right here. Michael Briggs. Thank you. And Jeff Moniz isn't here. So I think we should give them all a standing ovation. Ed, would you? Like I've said in the past, we never know what 10 minutes from now brings. So tell the people you love them. Hug the people you wish you hugged, you hug them. And when you hear those sirens, there's somebody laying there, hoping to God they get there quicker and knowing what they're doing. Eddie wouldn't be with us. So this is a miracle. And it shows that the dedicated efforts and training, as well as our DPW, saves lives. So think about that when you're going through your day and feeling bad. Smile, because you might not have been here. Thank you. It's a great thing that our men and women do. And next we have presentation. And this is on the flock camera. This is my Colonel, is it? Yeah. Captain Weaver?
No, Markel, no.
All right, so Darnell couldn't be here. All right. So the way that we're going to conduct this meeting is we're going to allow the trooper to give his presentation. We'll have opportunity for people to speak for or against. We'll start with people in favor. We'll end with people against. And then the council will take an action. Sir, come on down.
President, councilmen and women, thank you for having me. I'm gonna make it as fast as possible, but I want all the residents and everyone involved to understand what Flock's about and dispel some of the rumors. And I'm doing it because I truly believe the town of Warren and the residents should have it. But anyway, regarding Flock safety cameras, the Rhode Island State Police are committed to enhancing public safety, eliminating crime, and strengthening highway security across multiple jurisdictions throughout the state. Automatic license plate recognition cameras have and will continue to help enable the ability to support modern policing through data-driven, resource-optimized solutions. Flock safety cameras provide automated vehicle recognition, real-time alerts, and advanced analytics. These capabilities significantly aid law enforcement in responding to active threats such as mass shootings, school shootings, etc., investigating crimes, and maintaining situational awareness. These cameras help maximize investigative efficiency and provide real-time alerts such as Amber Alerts for missing children or kidnapped children, Silver Alerts for elderly people that are missing, and what's soon to come is Purple Alerts for missing adults with intellectual disabilities. That's coming out soon. Those things would be entered through the NCIC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and other customized hot lists. And if a vehicle that we're looking for specifically goes past a flock camera and there's something in the NCIC, NCMEC, or a customized hot list, it's going to alert to us. It's going to help us find them quicker. Flock safety cameras maximize the ability to collaborate across jurisdictions and respond swiftly to emerging threats. These cameras offer a vital enhancement to our public safety, infrastructure, improving situational awareness and investigative outcomes. Their deployment aligns with both technological advancement and operational efficiency, while respecting civil liberties through robust privacy protocols. Currently in the state of Rhode Island, flock technology is utilized by 14 municipalities, 5 commercial properties, 2 Department of Housing and Urban Developmental communities, 1 neighborhood association, 1 town school district, and 1 college campus of Rhode Island College. Ethically, there is no facial recognition being found on the cameras. There's no speed tracking, no undiscerning evidence gathered. Flock safety cameras have no public IP and therefore are not able to be remotely accessed. All data collection points are equipped with secure communication protocols to protect data in transit from interception and tampering. All data is encrypted using industry standard algorithms before being transmitted to the servers. There is a 30-day retention period of information gathered that is permanently deleted after that time frame. In addition to being certified by the FBI's Criminal Justice Information Services, they are compliant with the National Defense Authorization Act, the Higher Education Community Vendor Assessment Tool, HIPAA, and Family Educational Rights. They're also aligned with the security protocols established by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, cybersecurity, as well as the Cloud Security Alliances framework. Not only do cameras aid in investigations, but they also aid in exonerating suspects. I assure you, the use of the flock cameras, the goal of law enforcement is not to jump to immediate conclusions, which we do not do. The cameras are there to provide a great investigative lead that can fill many gaps within an investigation. Now, there's so many testimonials that we've already seen positively throughout the state. I can go on and on. One, for instance, I don't know if you've seen that murder that happened in Central Falls where those six to eight people were arrested. Flock cameras watched them go from Central Falls to Pawtucket and back to Central Falls. Help that case solve. Unbelievable. The town of Warren is not being asked to sign up with Flock, as the contract will be between the Rhode Island State Police and Flock. As Flock encourages its customers to create policies and guidelines, the Rhode Island State Police will be operating on a stringent policy, as well as a memorandum of understanding with other agencies who we allow them to share data with. This will include not providing any information related to immigration issues. This project will be moving forward with or without a camera being deployed in this town. However, I feel that the request is denied. You're taking away a great investigative tool from your residents that will be provided at no cost. The state police is covering the cost. The town of Warren will pay nothing. It's also the intention of the Rhode Island State Police to provide full access to our statewide camera system to the members of the Warren Police Department to aid them in investigations that crimes are going over town lines. They're going all statewide, and it will help everybody. Flock cameras do not provide any personal information and only capture information that is of public knowledge. Similarly, the Rhode Island Turnpike and Bridge Authority has transponders in place that record every time a vehicle drives over the bridge. Also in other cities and towns, the red light and speed cameras are obtaining license plates on a regular basis. A flock camera is not very different than utilizing a closed circuit television camera at a business or another security camera such as doorbell and residential cameras. The bottom line, I'm trying to make the state of Rhode Island a safer place and provide its investigators with the necessary tools to successfully do our jobs. The Rhode Island State Police is very driven on accountability. To that point, based on the projected policy and memorandum of understanding, users will be held accountable for their use of the flock camera system, as there is a documented search history. Remember this, as law enforcement tactics and technology advance, so do the criminals. Some of the claims I want to dispel right off the bat is ALPRs do not track vehicles in the entirety of their movements. Rather, they take a point-in-time image of the rear of the vehicles on public roadways. Flock cameras are only taking pictures of the back of vehicles. You're getting a license plate, the back of a vehicle, and yes, if you have a bumper sticker or something, it's going to pick it up. License plates are not private information. Customers control all the data sharing, which means the Rhode Island State Police, we have an onboarding. We just had our first onboarding meeting. We can actually have to go, it's going to take a while. This is not happening overnight, but we control who has access to our cameras and what information they can have. And my goal is to only have it in the state of Rhode Island and all the state agencies in Rhode Island. That's it. Flock's private customers can never access law enforcement data. So if you have a Home Depot or a Lowe's that has access to Flock, they can never see our cameras. But again, we have to allow anyway, but private can never see law enforcement. And then federal agencies do not have a backdoor access to collaboration with federal agencies falls on the customer's choice, which again, through our MOU, we are not going to give information to the federal agencies. And Flock has never been hacked. So, I mean, with that being said, I know a lot of comments are going to be said. I just want to know from anyone's opinion why you would not want Flock cameras. Thank you.
Well, if you could stay for the
Sure.
council questions.
Sure.
You weren't leaving, but I mean,
No.
stay at the podium. Council members, any questions? Mr. Hanley?
Are there any state laws that limit their use or the data sharing?
At this time, no. There's been legislative proposals that have been downrange, but I don't know if you know the procedure, whether the House or the Senate decides to listen to them, it hasn't gotten to that.
Okay, because my issue is between policy and law. As council members, we can change the policy with a vote. So the policy that's in place today, maybe whoever makes the policy at the state police can decide to change that policy, and then it doesn't come back here. I'm not saying
No, I-
for or against it this time. I'm just saying that's my concern. And the other thing is so the only people that would have access to all this information would be the other communities that sign in Rhode Island and the state police.
So we have to give, like, if I want to give it to the chief, the Warren chief, he can pick and choose who he wants to have access to it. You're going to have a login, your username, a login, it's going to be tracked. It's not going to go to every police officer in the state of Rhode Island. That's not the goal. But every police department, my goal is to have them have access so that we can see over jurisdictional lines.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Trombley?
Thank you. I have several questions. Some may be more appropriate for Chief Borges, some may be more appropriate
Sure.
for you. So take it as you please, I suppose. Does Warren currently have any flock camera in place in any area of the town,
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Chief?
According to the flock deployment team, there is not.
Okay.
No, we do not.
And if this is approved, how many automatic license plate readers will be installed in Warren, and where would they be located?
At this point in time, it would be one, and it is potentially going to be placed. May 136 at Old Market Street southbound. I can show you if you want to see.
So that would be the intersection of Child Street and Metacom.
No, I think that's near
No.
Mellick's Liquors.
That's near Malik's Liquor?
Don't think, yeah.
Would you like to see it?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think it's behind Palmer River Grill.
I see.
So you can see the way it looks. So you'd be facing that way right there, and that's just a big look of that location.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah, near, it's basically near the mulch place. Yeah.
And again, I'll talk, I mean, if we pass and whatever, I'm up to any changes that would benefit the town. That's not in stone.
I see. So from my research into these types of cameras, my understanding is that they're very helpful mainly in trying to address crime of stolen vehicles, missing persons, and of that nature. So I'm curious for the chief is how many unsolved cases do we have of those natures in Warren at this time or this past year?
I don't have a number for the unsolved, but in the last 2 years, we had 22 stolen vehicles.
Mhm.
As you know, we have access, we don't have any flock cameras, but we do have access to the data of the flock cameras. So we've been able to use that. And we did recover a vehicle that was stolen from Warren in Connecticut.
I see.
So we've seen the good part of it. We've used it in certain cases where we've been successful in solving some of those cases.
Thank you. Now, this is about the contract. Is there a fully executed contract right now between Flock Corporation and the Rhode Island State Police? Fully
Yes.
executed and signed?
It's signed, yes.
It's signed, okay. And now is Warren a party to the contract, or does it have any rights under this contract? It's exclusively with the Rhode Island
Exclusively
State
Rhode Island
Police.
State Police.
There was not a copy of the contract in my packet. Was there a reason?
That's not public yet.
It's not
We're
public.
still in the onboarding section of this, so it's gonna take time.
I see. Would you be willing to provide the council a copy of that contract at the
I'll talk to
time?
the colonel.
Talk to the colonel. Okay. Now, does Warren have a current MOU with the state police as regards to how these cameras are to be used?
That's in the works.
That's
Policy
in the
and the
works.
MOU.
So does that MOU, if it's in the works, does it address, to your knowledge, who owns the footage, how it can be accessed, and what becomes of it after a period of time?
Yes,
Okay.
it will it doesn't have it yet. It's in the works and it will have that.
And my understanding is that the state police went before Bristol and Portsmouth town councils recently, and they also asked you about the memorandum of understanding between the town and the state police.
That's good.
Is it a different MOU between each community?
No, it's gonna be one, it's gonna be this, I mean, everyone's gonna have the same
MOU.
MOU.
Okay. Now my last, sorry,
Okay.
I just had one more question.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I don't mean to
great.
take up the entire time.
Go ahead.
My last question at this point is just, how would it be possible for Warren to hold another law enforcement agency accountable for breaches of the memorandum of understanding of the?
Look, I mean, it would be on us ultimately because it's our account, but we do have a good insurance policy through Flock.
Okay, but if, I understand the insurance element of it, but in terms of if another agency were to use this information in a way that we found unacceptable, we would not have any recourse as to that behavior.
But what would you consider unacceptable?
Well, unfortunately, I had, this is long past in my family, but a cousin who was in a relationship with a police officer. She was a victim of domestic violence and stalking. And I can imagine that in another potentially if he had had this access to this information, he could have continued his poor behavior. And if I guess it's a dual-faced question, which is how do we know that the policy was being violated? How would we be alerted to that? And two, what could be done about that?
Well, they'd be held accountable. That's why our policy, and it's gonna take time, it's gonna be stringent. And just like anything else, it's like having access to running license plates. If you're running license plates for the wrong reasons, it's gonna be known because there's a log of who goes in. And, just like anything else, if you're using a license plate, if you're running violence to see something for the wrong reason,
Mhm.
it's gonna come back and bite you. And it's, I can't speak to how Warren's gonna hold them accountable, but.
Yeah, if I could add to that,
Yeah.
the only people who are allowed to, right now, and that will continue, is the two detectives in the detective division will have access to the Flock camera or the Flock tag. Not every officer, I don't want it. So it's only gonna be those officers who are in the investigative department division that will use it. And when you use the Flock camera, you have to put a case number in there that you're looking for the information based on this case. So if something does happen, they're gonna say, okay, well, show me the case that you were working on. And so,
All right, I've asked a lot of questions in a row, so I'll turn it over to my colleagues.
Ms. Cronin?
I've heard your presentation now 2 times. I did watch the presentation you did for the Bristol Council. And in theory and in the spirit of why this type of technology was developed, it makes perfect sense. And it feels like the right thing to do for a small town to have access to this type of security and comfort, knowing that, we could find a child or a stolen something. But in 2025, we are living in a world where no matter how you ensure us that, nobody else will have access to this information, it just doesn't feel,
I think it's for you.
Yeah.
Good, so.
Good, perfect timing. It doesn't seem realistic to expect that the technology isn't going to evolve to a place where people who we don't want knowing our private business will have access to it. And given what has already happened in town, this feels like too much. And, I've sort of developed a position and a perspective over the past month or so, becoming aware of this coming before us. And I'm really curious to hear the questions from the public to see how you're able to respond to them. And it feels really bad possibly saying like, this won't work for us here because the overwhelming concern for the other side of it. And it doesn't feel good denying what was created to do good work. But we're at a place right now where the negative forces that are out there are really exploiting and taking advantage of and doing things that we would like to feel some sense of control over our privacy and our civil liberties. And I just don't know that this is, had this been 10 years ago when you came before us, we'd probably been on like, yep, go ahead, do it. But right now, it doesn't feel like a good time to do this. So we'll see what the public says and if our other council members. have
Mr.
anything
Rego?
else.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I'll probably have to come back and ask it. Sometimes I forget. So one of my questions is, this is going to be on a state road.
Yes.
Why are you asking this?
DOT requires from the permitting.
I got a lot of emails, people concerned, and I did a lot of research. And, the question one would ask, if you're not guilty, what do you have to worry about? And someone put that in the email, and the response is because we can't trust government. How do you respond to that? And let me say this, we have bad cops, we have bad attorneys, we don't have bad politicians, we have bad in everything.
Not everything.
So how do you address that, and how do you safeguard that?
Say, what is the primary thing you want?
So I guess the primary thing is if the concern is that it would be misused, I guess is the concern. How do we protect ourselves from that?
I don't understand how something that's your license plate and your vehicle is public knowledge. I don't even if
So you know what, once this came about, I got all these emails, I'm a YouTube junkie, and I've
say the
started
question
looking.
again so I can hear.
So if somebody abuses it, you have a cop that has a girlfriend, wants to know where the girlfriend is. That could be very easily abused, correct?
Right, it could tell them that they drove on 136.
Right. So
Correct.
how do we safeguard ourselves from those abuses?
Accountability.
Yeah, because I think that everything else, you can track your credit card, you can track your car, I think you can track everything else.
Like the chief said, when you can't just go wild typing in plates. You have to put a case number. You can't just go in and start typing plates. And your login is your login, and there's a record. There's a record.
So now, how many cities and towns have you recruited so far?
There's a total of 22.
And 22 of them are, so even if we voted no, and we go to those other 22, we're gonna be recorded, correct?
If you say no,
You're right.
they're gonna be all over.
It's still gonna be all over, so it's not like we can stop wherever we go. So if we say no and something happens here, is initiated here, we're at a disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
I gotta tell you, when I was looking at all of this, I remembered 39 years ago was my son. He was 2 years old at the time. And I was doing a project with him, with my father. My son was there. And he moved away. It might have been less than a minute. And I was so scared. So when I look at this technology, I'm looking at that kid that gets abducted. And at that point in time, I don't care about my privacy. I just want my son found. So this is where I'm coming from, but I'd like to hear from everyone else, so.
If I may, 4.5 years ago, when I took this position, I implemented a camera registry program for the town of Warren. And I got this from other departments. So basically is any resident of the town of Warren who has a Ring camera or any type of residential camera, we ask them to register with the police department. So that if something happens in that area, we can go to our list and say, hey, let's go see so-and-so because he has a Ring camera. And we've used that to solve, Arlington and Child has a camera, right? You guys, right, it's there already. So, and that person is gathering more information than the flock cameras. People walking, front plates, people driving. So it's out there. And we've been successful. This is kind of lengthy, but I think it's worth mentioning. In February, we had an 82-year-old person come to town of Warren and report that she gave $50,000, let's say in personal and money, to a scammer. And they came to the police department and said, I think I've been scammed. But I have a plate of the vehicle. And we ran it through the flock camera and we found the plate at the border in Buffalo. So we were able to call that agency and say, do you have the picture of this? And do you have the occupants' names? And they said, yes, because everybody is ID'd when you go through the border, or most people. So through that information, we were able to get names of the occupants of the vehicle, and we currently have an arrest warrant for those subjects. If we didn't have this, we would have just said to that person, thank you very much, but it's no longer United States, we can't find it, case closed, suspended, for whatever reason may be. So, but we've used it for incidents that occurred in town. We had a road rage where a person was assaulted by another person based on the information of the vehicle. We were able to locate that person, stolen vehicles. We've seen the benefits of it. The police department has. And like I said, not everybody's going to have access to this. Nope.
So if I could, I think that my concern, as well as the solicitors, and we spoke about this, and I'm going to let Anthony actually answer, so it'll all be correct because we've already spoken. I don't think we're against the good aspects. My concern is the Fourth Amendment. My concern is the legal aspect, the lack of accountability towards the contract changing down the road. We wouldn't have any say in that. So, Mr. DeSisto, if you could just expound on what we discussed earlier, it'd be helpful.
Yes, I had the opportunity to speak to the captain about this also. Chief Winquist, who is the chief of police in Cranston, sent out an email through the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association. The concern being that this flock information is actually subject to APRA in some states, has not been challenged here in Rhode Island, but it could
Can
be.
you say what APRA is?
The Access to Public Records Act. In a sense, and I want to address the Fourth Amendment. The one thing that I agree with Chief Borges on and the captain is that you don't, when your car is driving down the street and you have a license plate, there's not an expectation of privacy there. That's the basis for having these flock cameras. However, that tells against you when it's an Access to Public Records Act request, because if it's out in the open, then it can be seen as a public record. Apparently, in some states, APRA has they've given APRA requests, and the states have said that's public documents. There's a concern then that we're getting to the wrong hands. In fact, there's some type of a website, haveibeenflocked.com, on this. Now, this is all amorphous. One of the things I'm hearing is that there is no agreement in place between Flock and the state police. That's still being fleshed out, correct?
The contract's done.
The contract's done. Okay.
Cameras are happening. We just, it's our policy. So as part of the onboarding, it's a process. We sit down and we go over who we want to get, like literally, we're going to sit down with a team multiple times and go over, like, so that the thing that's causing that is a national lookup, and we can turn that off easily. Some states allow that. We don't intend on allowing the national lookup, which is what's going through those apps.
Okay, can I make a suggestion? If the council is in favor of going forward with this and allowing your police department to access these flock cameras and have the flock cameras stationed here in Warren, I think we need to see that ahead of time.
The policy in the MOU or?
The policy and
Sure.
the MOU.
I think-
That's, I don't think it's something you should vote on without seeing what the parameters are for that. I do have some concerns. Mainly because I haven't seen some of the things that we would need to see before any decisions were made.
And the Fourth Amendment.
Well, your Fourth Amendment is a privacy right. When you're in public and you're driving on a public street, you don't have a Fourth Amendment right to the outside of the vehicle. You do have Fourth Amendment rights to the inside of your vehicle, but not the outside. That includes your license plate.
Mr. President, I don't mean to disagree with my brother attorney here, but I will say that is not quite correct. Because we do have a privacy interest in the totality of our daily movements, our public movements, which is why any police officer, and of course you guys can testify to this, if you want to put a tracker on someone's vehicle, you have to get a warrant to do that. You can't just go do that, even though the car is in public and might not be on the inside, it's on the outside. You do have a privacy interest in your movements as a person. As far as I've seen with the APLR, they can track you across states, across the entire country, basically. The technology is capable of that. Is that correct?
Wherever our camera is.
Wherever the camera is. So the problem with that is that the technology has advanced so quickly, and I don't think I've seen any courts rule on the exact admissibility or the legality of it. But I would compare it to tracking a car with a tracker, or with your cell phone cell site location information. Well, you disagree, but I that's how I feel. And based on my it's very gray area, but my thinking is that it's more close to tracking a vehicle with a tracking device rather than just being observed on a road, based on what I'm saying.
As a matter of law, these cameras are not considered to be trackers.
Well, there's no court cases that really bear that out, though. That's why I'm saying it's still sort of a new area of law where there hasn't been any decision by a court.
Do you feel the DOT cameras are doing the same thing?
What?
Do you feel that the cameras the DOT has up all over the highway is doing the same thing?
Are they APLRs, like we were saying, or ALPRs?
No, but it's tracking your movements.
Well, that's the
All right,
point that I'm
Mr.
saying. It's the
Trombley.
totality of, okay.
Let's,
Yeah.
So what we want to do is speak specifically to the flock, because we know there are cameras everywhere. What doesn't happen is I see your license plate. I don't know who the registered person is. I don't know the address of that registration. So although the plate is public, the code breaking of it isn't. And the code, I mean by the information.
Right.
So all of those other cameras are out there, but not of this specific use.
Just one. quick
Mr.
question.
Rego.
How long do you keep that information for? 30 days?
So I thank you. And we respect what you're doing. My concern on this comes from the unknown, quite frankly, and the potential abuse. But you're here to do your job, and so are we. So if you could,
Absolutely.
if you could have a seat.
Sure.
We're gonna let the public have the opportunity to speak. And who's going to be first? Oh yeah, everybody who's in favor, we want you to come down first. So if you're in favor, you probably don't have to sit down. So, all right, so now that we're done with all of the people in favor, those in opposition, please come down. State your name and address for the record. And we are going to, I am going to stop people if they start repeating themselves. So everybody, while you're sitting there, think about if the person ahead of you has done such a great job explaining that you don't have to come up.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ann Raver. I live on 10 Taylor Street in Warren. And I am opposed to the block camera system for a number of reasons. I have a question, and that is, where does the funding come from? How are all these flock cameras systems being installed? Is it a federal grant?
We could have it.
Is it from the Customs and Border Protection? Federal COPS grant. And where do they get their money? Okay. I'm a former journalist, and so I tend to trust in this era of fake news, a lot of media, the established media, which includes AP, the New York Times, the public radio stations. And I also read things put out by the ACLU. And I trust their reports. And their reports are very disturbing about what's happening with flock camera systems. And I respect what you're saying about safety and catching violent criminals and little old ladies like me wandering down state highways. But the implications and what we're seeing now in this era of our present administration is the aspect of surveillance. And these cameras feed into a database. And with AI, even a camera in Warren can be accessed by other police departments and the federal agents if they wish. They can be easily hacked. There are various reports of geeks being able to hack into these systems. So they're very insecure. And so you are being asked to approve of a system that has no statutory protection. The state legislature has not been able to agree on regulations for restricting their use. Warren could have an agreement with the police or, have some kind of ordinance. It does not. It hasn't had time to really look at this. So now to approve something like this would be, in my opinion, very dangerous. And yes, okay, so it reads the license plate of anyone going by. It could be an immigrant who has citizenship rights, but looks like somebody that our current administration would like to pick up. Or it could be a person like me who's been seen at, a progressive rally or demonstrating down on Water Street when we saw ICE agents lurking around in their vehicles with tinted windows and getting out with masks. I mean, I do not want to be tracked, or I don't want anyone to be tracked by these cameras, which can then be, they not only take license plates, they take bumper stickers, they follow movements of whoever's driving the car. If somebody wants to follow a particular license plate, they can track the movement of that car, but via other cameras. And so they can track across state. They can really surveil whoever they're trying to pick up. So, I'm asking, do we want that in our town? I don't see why we really need it. And I think that the negatives are so weighted in to say no, that's what I'm hoping you will say. I know that Chief Borges and these gentlemen have said that the data cannot be shared. Only the detectives will have that data. But a lot of reports from established news media and the ACLU are documenting that this is not the case. That police departments and federal agents can get this information. So that, to me, is the beginning of a police state. So
Thank you.
that's my 2 cents.
So for the record, we also have a packet by Madeline McGonigal, and she's from the ACLU. It's much too thick for me to read into the record, but it's part of the public information. Next, whoever wants to come down.
have a letter that I just very recently
Name and
wrote.
address, please.
Yeah, I will say that. I'm Jan Reitsma. I live at 54 Washington Street here in Warren. And I have a letter, I have a copy that I can give to.
Yes.
And I'll just read it into the record if that's okay.
You can.
Thank you for the opportunity to comment on a matter before you tonight that is of great concern to myself and I believe many other citizens. I will be brief because I know the question before you can be framed and articulated very narrowly. Should you tonight approve the request to install a so-called automated license plate reader or ALPR in our town? I urge you not to do so, at least not until both you and we as citizens have a better, complete, and accurate understanding of what this technology is capable of, how it is already being used or can be used, whether it's as advertised, intended, unintended, or secret, and the possible implications for privacy, security, and even liberty in our community. Yes, that may broaden the scope of inquiry and consideration, but only because the scope of possible capabilities and implications of this technology is not narrow at all, especially when considered in the broader context of what we are experiencing at this time in our country, and to some extent already in this community, in terms of intelligence gathering and law enforcement, but also in terms of our ability to feel free in our homes, in our workplaces, neighborhoods, state, and country, not feel intimidated or threatened, especially not by people who do not identify themselves, hide behind masks and tinted windows, and then come out looking like armed bank robbers and assaulting the peace of our community. This technology is already here, and it is spreading very rapidly in a networked fashion around us. It's not only being used to facilitate regular law enforcement, but also to find, detain, and deport immigrants, even immigrants who are legally here, have a green card, or have become citizens. It is not okay to say that mistakes are always being made or mistakes can be made when egregious violations of people's privacy, physical safety, and emotional security have been documented. Whether we are for or against immigration is not the issue. Whether we support or protest certain policies is not the issue at this time. At this time, we need to make sure that law enforcement operations are properly, and that is lawfully, authorized, necessary, and executed, and that appropriate safeguards are in place to protect our public and private freedoms and the character of the communities we live in. There's plenty of documentation about such safeguards. Please consider that information and require those safeguards before you approve this request and others like it. And I will just add that I would agree with what has been said about the American Civil Liberties Union. They are not anti-law enforcement. They're not some extremist organization. They do their homework, and they're very concerned about this technology, especially in the context as I have tried to present that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Madeline McGonigal from the ACLU.
Oh.
I'm not a Warren resident, but I love
Glad to hear
Warren.
that.
Yep. I went to school in Bristol, so special place in my heart. I'll be very brief. The letter I submitted is very long. I have a lot to say about
Finish
clock.
then.
Yeah, it is. But I just wanted to add a couple things beyond the letter. I will say that in the state of Rhode Island, the smallest state in the country, we already have about 200 municipality-owned ALPRs. Seems like a lot already. And so we would urge you to reject this proposal. Additionally, for the data sharing and the data retention, People before me have said that it's about 30 days retention. That is the standard flock data retention deadline. Other states have changed it. Maine is 21 days. New Hampshire's 3 minutes. So 30 days is the standard. It can be different. Additionally, there has been a pattern across the country of municipalities who have flock agreements of canceling their contracts. The most recent one was Cambridge in Massachusetts last night, who decided to stop having their flock contract. And so I just wanted to add those few things beyond what's in my letter and what the constituents have said. I agree with that wholeheartedly, and I'm happy to answer any questions that any of you may have.
Are there any questions, Ms. McGonigal? Thank you for coming. We've heard from the solicitor, and if there's a motion to be made, his advice legally is that there isn't enough information for us right now that he feels secure enough to stand behind legally in the town of Warren. Correct?
That would be a vote to approve. You just don't have the information for that.
I mean, if we were to approve, you
That's
wouldn't be
correct.
asking it for tonight, so we can deny.
You
Or
can, yes.
we could make a motion to continue this until the contract has actually been supplied to the solicitor to review and for the council to review and vote at that time, once we actually see what we're voting on.
Yes.
So I'll put that in the form of a motion. I'll put a motion that we continue this. Do you know about how long it would be to get a contract over?
Right now, I'm kind of opposed to the contract. That just tells you how many cameras, I mean, what we're
Okay.
paying for. Policy and
There,
MOU.
there are people that
Yeah.
watch this. If you could come to the microphone.
Policy and MOU, I'll get you. If you want to
Okay.
postpone this, I get it. I'm
Yep.
doing the same thing in Bristol and Portsmouth, but I'm not giving a draft. So when it's
Okay.
finalized, I'll get it to you.
Anthony, would that
Thank
be
you.
more appropriate, the policy and the MOU more than the contract?
Well, I'll take what I can get.
Okay.
But, I want to make sure that all the questions I have, I've got to tell you that I have concerns beyond what just has been discussed tonight. I know there's important concerns, but I have other concerns, and that goes to liability for the town. So I'd like to take a look at what I can get. If I have more questions, I'll let you know.
I'll
Okay.
second that motion.
One moment. We have, it's not a public
Not a
hearing.
public hearing.
No, you can, come on down.
Hey, Mark Dobbin, 22 Liberty Street. I'm opposed. I'm assuming everybody in the gallery who is typically not at these meetings is opposed. But I think it's important that people put their name and their address and state their opposition, and also to take all the time they want. I won't reiterate the points. I think people made great points. I agree with most of them. I read a bunch of ACLU information. I'm sure you guys have that now. So again, I won't belabor that. But I think it's important to take this time. And for people, if they want to say the same things over and over, that's good too. Stretch these things out, make you folks all aware that this is important to us to come out on a weeknight. And when these things get continued, I feel like the attendance tends to shrink as people sort of get fatigued. But it's important for all of us to make our voices heard that we oppose this camera system.
Thank you, but there's nothing stopping someone from saying something different than the person in front of them.
Right.
I didn't stop people from talking.
No. I'm just encouraging
appreciate
everyone
what
to
you're saying.
Yeah,
get
and
up there.
And my intention is not to get less of a crowd when we hear this. My intention is to get the information we need
Sure.
to vote on this. I'm not thinking of continuing this so less people show up.
No, I know.
God, no.
I know. I think that's just a
Well,
natural.
that's what it sounded like you said.
No. It wasn't intended
That's
as,
okay.
and it wasn't intended in that light. It's more just when these things take months and months, it's hard to keep amassing people to come and
Understood.
show
From
up.
our perspective, it gets difficult. Lewis, please. It gets, I'm answering him direct. It gets difficult as the night goes on as well.
Sure.
To conduct the business, and past 11 o'clock, we have to make a motion.
Sure.
So we see the people here. It's not a foreign body. It's us. We know the people that are in this room.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what you're saying. And he's urging anyone, if you have something different than what you've heard, come on down.
Thanks.
Joe, can I respond to, I think it's important.
I-
No, I think it's important.
Okay, I don't understand personally what you can say differently.
I've been on a council for a year and I was there here 12 years. I don't make my decision on how many people in the room. I make my decision on all the facts, because just because you're in a room and you think one way, doesn't mean there are people that are not in the room, that don't show up to the meeting. So
Let's
that's
not,
all I'm saying.
let's stick to the topic.
That is topic. He said
Sure.
for people in the room. That's all I'm saying. I'm
Right.
not saying I'm for or against. I'm just saying.
I hear
that
you.
it-
Yeah.
I don't do things based on measuring how many people in the room.
Sure,
never
but I
thought
think
it
in
would.
this specific issue, it's the citizenry which is being affected by potentially having our license plate scanned every time we drive down the street. So if a large mass of the citizenry of this town shows up and says, we don't want to be surveilled like that, I should hope that would have some effect on.
And absolutely, and when I spoke, I also said that if it's not being done here and I go across the state and it's being done, then I'm losing protection in the town. And that's what we have to look at. It's not gonna go away.
Okay, let's not digress on the personal position of
I'm not
how
personal,
many
I'm just
people in the
responding,
room.
that's all it is.
Thank you. So Mr. Hanley made a motion and Louis seconded it. Discussion. Mr. DeSisto, help, oh, somebody else wants to speak. Okay, please. But Ms. Flanagan, before you start, Mr. DeSisto, if someone made a motion and a motion on the floor and somebody has another motion, does one take precedence over the other?
The first motion needs.
Has to be
acted upon.
decided first. Thank you.
Jenny Flanagan, 46 Washington Street. I'll just briefly touch on the idea that AI is involved in this. And AI to me is a black box in many ways. We don't know how it's going to be used. We don't know where it's going to go in the future. We don't know how much of the data is being scraped and is going to get used in other ways that by AI that may be beyond human control, that comes out in different ways. So the AI aspect is one of the parts of this that disturbs me profoundly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hanley, since you made the motion, if there were another motion simply to deny and deal with this if it ever came up again, would you?
No, I'm not gonna rescind my motion. I'll restate it to continue this until we have the policy, the MOU for the solicitor review, because I want the information I need to make a decision. That's why I'm continuing it, not voting to deny or making a motion to approve. I think I need that information to make an informed decision. So I'm gonna leave my motion on the table and I believe Louis is gonna leave his second.
Right, so if there was another motion and people wanted to simply deny this, that is a possibility.
I have some discussion for this motion. though.
Please.
I'm gonna vote no on this motion. I don't think that there's any information that's gonna be provided in this memorandum of understanding or other documents from the applicant that's going to make me feel comfortable with this type of surveillance in this town. So, just so you know.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
Is there another motion?
I make a motion to deny the installation of flock cameras in
So-
the town of Warren.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you for your time.
You opposed? I'm opposed.
Okay,
I didn't have enough information to make the decision.
well, the information's going to come to us down the road. I'm sure they're not just gonna sit on the information as they gather it. It didn't have to be a part of tonight's business, but it's over. Thank you for coming, and I'm sure we will see you in the future. Next, we have a resolution regarding Victory Day. This was sent out by other communities and we signed on to have this actually read and see how this goes. The Town of Warren, Rhode Island resolution preserving the name and significance and observance of the Victory Day holiday. Whereas Victory Day currently pays tribute to the immeasurable servicemen and women who served, sacrificed, and died in the Pacific and China-Burma India theaters of operation during World War II. And whereas our job is not to erase history, but to preserve it and educate our citizens on Victory Day with the impact of World War II upon and within our state. And whereas renaming this day to Peace and Remembrance Day is disrespectful to our military veterans, a disservice to our civilians that contributed to the war effort, and dismissive of their collective memory, sacrifices, efforts, historical lineage, and merited honors. Whereas the town council has concerns relatively to previously proposed House Bill 5887, this bill's potential reintroduction of its content and intent in any legislative form in the future, that such bills are understood to be an act that would change the name of the holiday on the second Monday of August from Victory Day to Peace and Remembrance Day. And now therefore be it resolved that the Warren Town Council respectfully requests our legislators to oppose the passing of any such future bills as a commitment to preserving the great sacrifices made by our revered veterans and their families to ensure that their honors and histories from memory never fades. Be it resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the governor of the state of Rhode Island, Senator Walter S. Felag Jr., Representative June Speakman, Representative Jason Knight, and the city and town councils. If passed, this would be December 9th, 2025. Is there a motion to accept this?
So we already passed this at the last one meeting. Should be one change.
I
which
thought we
was-
pulled it.
No.
We pulled the one from-
We voted to have the draft, to have the resolution.
So I think I can add some context to this,
Please.
Mr. President. So we had endorsed the version that came to us from Westerly, and then Councilman Hanley wanted to have one from us specifically. So that's
what
why
I
we have
thought.
it on the
I thought
agenda.
we
again.
pulled it and asked for it.
Last month, we pulled it. 2 months ago, we approved having the resolution drawn.
Well, if that's the case, let's just follow through again tonight then.
I will just make a friendly amendment, if I may, to
Please.
fellow
Is
councilman.
there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Well, he's gonna tell us what the change is.
I'm sorry, the
I
only.
know you were gonna amend something.
I apologize, yes. So my only amendment to this, a friendly amendment, is to put the year 2025 in front of the House bill number to indicate which bill it actually is. They typically reuse the number, so just to avoid confusion. It's a very technical amendment, very small, but I'm just introducing it for the sake of.
Good housekeeping.
Yeah.
And there
I-
may be a typo.
Yeah, I spoke to Councilman Trombley about it, and it does, it specifically will point to this bill in case a new bill has that same last four digits.
Right.
And we're correcting the typo that's been
So
found.
I will second the motion. to
India
change it
instead of Inda.
to change the bill number to represent 2025.
Is there a second?
Derek made the motion, I just second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now is there a motion to accept this and send it?
I'll make a motion, we accept the resolution and send it to our representatives and our senators.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the election of town council officers. First is town council president. Is there a nomination?
I'll make a motion for Joe DePasquale.
Well, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. And we have a motion for the vice president. I mean, a nomination, excuse me.
I'll nominate Terry Cronin.
Second. I'm making the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Next, we have reappointments, and they're lengthy. They're on pages 8 and 9. These are reappointments to all of our boards and commissions. Mr. DeSisto, is it at this time if we were to pull any of those, or is that too late?
You can pull now before the motion is made, or if the motion is made and there's a second, you can ask that any name be pulled from that list.
So on the list, is there anyone or
I want to pull one out because I have a conflict of interest. One of them is my brother.
okay?
So I want to pull the building official inspector alternate out. And I do have one other question, and it's going to be from the clerk. Have all of these people represented that they would like to remain on the board?
And attendance has been vetted. So it'll be contingent on attendance, but probably everybody's here. So other than William Hanley, why don't we do it this way? We'll take William Hanley out
Okay.
and we'll vote on it all, and then we'll vote on Mr. Hanley, your brother.
Mr. President, I also have to pull the 2 members for the library trustee. I have a conflict there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we do it this way? We'll do the library and William Hanley now.
Okay.
It's gonna be myself, Ms. Cronin, and Mr. Rego. Mr. Rego, could you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to reappoint William A. Hanley.
I'll
to
second
the
it.
official's office.
All in favor?
Aye.
And
I'll make a motion to appoint Carol Gafford and John Cheney to the library trustees.
I will second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we can have a motion in entirety of the council on all others.
I'll make a motion in the entirety of all others.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have interview. We don't have anyone for the 250th or Conservation Commission. And we did interview Ms. Martins last month for the Voluntary Historic District Committee. And is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Lisa Martins.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And public, we still have openings on the 250th Commission as well as the Conservation Commission. So any of you who would like to serve on those boards, please come on in to the clerk's office.
If I may, Mr. President, quick question. For
Please.
the clerk's office. I think after tonight, there will be some additional vacancies with some resignations from some boards in town. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes. Awesome.
that's going to happen a little.
Later, yeah, of course.
Next, we have acceptance of the November 12th, 2025 regular scheduled meeting minutes. I didn't see any corrections. Is there a motion to accept?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the executive session. They were emailed to us. Did you all get them?
Yeah,
I didn't see any corrections.
make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I believe it's only one item. Right. All in favor?
Aye.
And now we have an ordinance, chapter 32 zoning, article 5, special use permits, section 3231, standards for specific categories of special use permits. Article 8, zoning district use regulations, sections 32 to 52. Service business uses. Article 23, definitions, sections 32-130, definitions, kennels, doggy daycare application. This is the second reading. Good evening.
Good evening.
Are there any additional questions or comments to this applicant? Mr. DeSisto?
Well, this is a second reading, but it's a public hearing because it's for the zoning ordinance.
Correct.
If there's anyone from the public that wishes to speak, I can answer any questions you may have. This is the second reading. The necessary changes from the first reading are contained in this version. Some of them have to do with the citing of it. The setback is 100 feet now, which the applicant has agreed to. There is a pulling of the sale of animals, which was actually suggested by the applicant on this matter. There's a definition for what a kennel is in the doggy daycare. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the council at this time?
No, this looks like it reflects what we wanted changed last time, first reading. So I'll make a motion. We approve the second reading.
We have to, first we have to, anybody from the public would like to discuss this issue?
Do I need to make a motion to close public hearing?
I don't see it as a public hearing, but I guess it is.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Belts and suspenders.
I will make a motion that we approve the zoning change regarding special use permit standards and categories for a dog kennel.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does that mean you're not coming back to visit us anymore?
Oh,
And
might be stuck here.
Good.
Oh, two.
02. Next, we have chapter 3, article 4, kennel licenses, section 4-1, the licenses of kennels, doggy daycare applications specifically, second reading.
Yeah, this is a companion ordinance that authorizes the licensing of the business proposed by the applicant. Again, this is a second reading. And I have any questions you may have, you'll notice that the fee is $250.
Are there any additional questions? Mr. Rego,
Nope.
is that a yes?
I will make a
Oh,
motion.
One more. Any questions from the public? Comments? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
I will make a
Handley.
motion. We approve 02 kennel licenses, the licensing.
I'll
of
second that
kennel.
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Yay, thank you.
Sorry it took so long. No, it wasn't. Thank you, though. And now the fun begins, I guess, right? Chapter 32, zoning, first reading, Article 8, zoning district use regulations, sections 32-47, residential uses. Article 24, accessory dwelling units, sections 32 to 131, accessory dwelling units by right, section 32 to 132, standards and requirements, section 32 to 133, occupancy restriction agreement. This is for Mr. Tromley. Mr. Tromley brought this to our attention, and he's ready to take over. Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, as many of my council colleagues and many of the people in the public will know, accessory dwelling units, the laws regarding those were amended at the state level a few years ago, and we had yet to adjust. It's kind of a housekeeping measure. We're adjusting our ordinances to reflect what state law is. Accessory dwelling units, for those who do not know, they are simply housing units made out of basements, out of sheds, out of garages, out of attics. They're accessory buildings or occupancies that are turned into dwelling units for the purpose of housing, usually in typical cases for an in-law or someone with special needs. But also they're becoming more prominent for folks who are looking to downsize and turn over their main property to their children or to some other devisee. And it's important that our local law reflects this practice. It will help, I think, to streamline this process because, as we know, we are in a housing crunch. The prices are getting astronomical and people are leaving Warren and our great state because of it. So this will help to do so in a way that I think more fits with the character of Warren. I tend to find that folks recoil at large building projects, but they are more accepting of things that are spread out over a wider area. So this is what I consider to be gentle density. So it increases the density of an area without drastically changing the look and feel of a neighborhood. So with that being said, if the solicitor has any other comments, I think that we should move this forward.
I have a couple of questions.
Questions?
Well, if I
Mr.
may just
Ditto.
interject and
You go
follow
first.
up. Councilman Trombley is correct. This ordinance mirrors the state laws, which is mandated by the state law in Title 45, Chapter 24. So on a legal basis, not only isn't the ordinance acceptable, but it's also something that needs to be done. The local ordinance has to conform to the State Enabling Act. But one thing I do want to mention, which I noticed Councilman Trombley put in, is section 32-13. And this is also something that's lawful. It's the last section in your proposal. That has to do with short-term rentals.
Right.
And under this ordinance, an accessory dwelling unit cannot be used for short-term rentals as defined in state law. And this is something that other communities have enacted. It has been shown to be lawful. It's just an additional protection so you don't have, too many fraternity brothers showing up in a neighborhood renting out an ADU every weekend. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Tony, I have a couple. Jeff, can I go?
Please.
So the first one is, why did we wipe out in-law apartments? Why isn't in-law apartments still there? Because there is a distinction between an in-law apartment and an accessory unit. In-law apartment, you share the entrance. Why was it taken out?
State law specifically says that you cannot have a category for relatives renting out an ADU. That's considered discriminatory under the Enabling Act. That's why it was taken out.
To the state level.
Doesn't have to make sense. They did it. That's fine.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
And Louis, with an ADU, you can still have a shared entrance. Doesn't have to have a separate entrance.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can be like like the old,
Yeah.
the old in-law apartment,
Just
yes.
put an ADU and you get the same thing.
Correct, yes.
Yep. Second question. So they put in a maximum size, but they didn't put a minimum size. Is there a reason for that? A studio or one-bedroom ADU shall have a maximum unit size of at least 900 square feet. But there's no minimum. And again, I'll ask
There's a
John.
minimum, there's a minimum in a building code.
Sorry, that at least should be struck in the document. That I believe you're referring to 3213A. Is that right? Standards and requirements.
Yes.
That at least should be struck. I don't know if it is in your copy, but that should not be in there.
So that's an error.
Yes, if it's there.
Right. Yeah. No, it is struck, but I guess I'm just wondering why they didn't address minimum size, but I guess by code, building code,
In the
right?
building code, a dwelling unit minimum size, I believe, is 600 square foot, and hence the name accessory dwelling unit. In my opinion, that would also govern the minimum size of an ADU because it is a dwelling unit.
That's a correct statement, yes.
So I got two more. So again, the egress, before you had a shared egress, that no longer applies. You can have its own egress.
Correct.
Okay. And the last one, off-street parking space shall not be required more than one per bedroom of ADU. So does that mean that they don't have to have one? Or they at least have to have at least one?
That was gonna be my
One
question
bedroom,
as
one
well.
space.
But
It's
it
in
said,
statute.
It is in statute, yes.
it's in the statute that you can't require it, but it would be up to us to put it in our statute that we do require it. That was my concern. I want to see at least one parking space required for an ADU, and that is not included. It can be done. I've been doing it in Pawtucket for about 6 months and enforcing it.
And it makes sense in a community like Warren where we
Yeah.
have, parking on street is a challenge,
Yeah, I would
Okay.
think that.
So we would have to put, instead of may, we would have to shall. And I don't know if we want one for each bedroom, but I at least want one for each ADU. It's
So are we
section
making-
G.
Shall not be required.
Are we making changes now?
3213,
Yeah,
section
it's the
G.
first reading. So you need to
That's
do
what
it.
I mean, so
Yeah.
My copy says
my
shall.
question was about action.
It says
Let's-
shall not be required. Off-street parking spaces shall not be required more than one per bedroom of an ADU.
Do you
Again,
want
I
to change that to may?
No, I want to change that to
shall,
it shall require at least one off-street parking
just
space.
give it the not, shall be required.
But I don't know if we want to go for one for each bedroom or just
No.
one for each unit. I'd be comfortable with one for each unit, not one for each bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna be reducing the number by doing this, so it'll help with the congested areas in town. If you don't have the space, you can't have it.
Right, so Anthony, you see what I'm talking about? G says
Yeah.
shall not be required, but that doesn't mean they have to.
Yeah,
I
I-
want to make it that they have to.
I've got concerns with the last phrase, more than one bedroom of the ADU.
It's very confusing.
So if we strike that, it says off-street parking spaces shall be required more than one bedroom of the ADU.
Parking
Would you
spaces
just
should-
leave? it
Shall
to
require
required?
one, because the most you can have is a 2-bedroom ADU. So if we just put shall, off-street parking spaces shall be required for each ADU.
How about at least,
Sure.
one
Per ADU, would that be?
off-street parking space shall be required
Per ADU. Yeah.
per ADU.
Yeah, instead of,
I'm
yeah,
good with that.
that was really
Okay.
that was really my own.
I think that makes sense. I do think I took the language exactly from the statute, but I think this is actually more clear and I don't think it's in conflict at all.
Correct.
Next.
Yeah.
That's a sausage situation. They were making sausage when this thing passed.
Hey.
Oh,
That was my only concern with the ordinance.
Ms. Cronin,
Yeah, my one question was about the language on that parking, because I
Yeah.
just couldn't understand what it meant, but this makes more sense and it's clearer.
Lawyers
there any-
never use one word when four will do, as they say.
Yeah.
Yes.
is there anything else for the solicitor?
May I ask a question of the
Yeah.
clerk? Sandy, has this gone to the planning board yet?
No.
Oh, okay, proper motion should be. Yes,
Came from Mr. Tromley.
okay.
So we'll be sending it to the.
Your
planning.
motion should be for two things, set it down for a public hearing at the January meeting. With proper notice under the statute, which Sandy knows. And also that it be referred to the planning board for a determination as to whether it complies with the town's comprehensive plan.
Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I just have a question. So if somebody came in front of the, went to the building inspector, there's a 600 square foot minimum for an ADU? That's what John.
My interpretation and what I use is I refer back to the building code, which requires a 600. It's not a rooming house. It's a dwelling unit, and there is a minimum of 600 square foot for a dwelling unit in the building code.
Is that?
That's what I've been
I'm
doing,
just-
and that's how I enforce.
I just, that's just a quick question. Is that something the zoning board can allow for?
Look at the ordinance for you. You read what it says. It says a minimum of.
Yeah, an in-law apartment had to be,
Councilman Hanley, fellow building official brought it up in the state building, code. meeting.
Mr. Cabral, if you can please come to the microphone.
Macabro, building zoning official for the town of Warren. So what I was saying was that Councilman Hanley is a fellow building official, and then we were in a state meeting and they presented this to us, and he brought up the fact that the law actually says minimum of. So if you look at it says square footage for an ADU. Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah.
That's not a maximum, that's a minimum.
Minimum of
So there is
600.
no, so there's no maximum.
The smallest has to be 600.
My opinion through the building code is yes. it's
Yeah.
small to
But the law in front of you,
Right.
if you read what it says for the minimum, it says the minimum amount needs to be, I forget, and I don't have it in front of me, but there's a square footage. So that's not a maximum. So
It's 600.
I didn't see it, and I looked through this.
Miss Flanagan's gonna help us. Come on down.
Matt, I think they changed it. They actually corrected it and changed it to maximum here.
Miss Flanagan.
that's right. In the state
Yeah.
law, it's not.
When before it was not, but this one here, it does say maximum instead of minimum. At
What do
that
you wanna
meeting,
share
it
with
said
us?
minimum. But the 600 square foot minimum is in the building code, because it's by definition, in the building code, it's a dwelling unit and it needs to be 600 square foot. If it was a rooming house, there's no requirement, but this is not a
Not a
rooming
rooming
house. It's an accessory dwelling.
State law, though. This is the ordinance, correct?
Yeah,
The state law is what the one that.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah.
let's hear what Miss Flanagan has to say.
Jenny Flanagan, 46 Washington Street. I'm also on the planning board. And at our last meeting, we discussed the fact that there's this ordinance as well as a number of other enabling acts that got passed specifically around comprehensive permits for affordable housing. We discussed a number of issues that all have to be, as well as a number of items that came as a result of our comprehensive plan approval that now need to be incorporated into our ordinances. And the planning board is going to be taking them on as a whole. So this is one of the issues that we'll be looking at. We would like to be able to address all of these issues collectively, seeing how they're going to be pervasive across not just the zoning ordinance, but also land development and subdivision regulations, planning board policies, tree commission regulations, just a broad range of recommendations that we're going to be making back to the council, hopefully in 2 or 3 months on all these changes. We would certainly welcome receiving this. We may request to act on it in concert with all those other changes.
Are you gonna be having special meetings?
I'm almost certain we would.
Mr. Hanley
My
has something.
concern with that is we are subject to the state law right now. So if we don't include that parking requirement right now, anybody that comes in with an ADU legally right now does not have to give us a parking space until we make this change.
That's why we're,
Jay, you guys gotta take this up your next meeting.
okay.
We got a time crunch here and a time limit here, but also the wheels are starting to move, so.
Mr. Trombley wanted to get this in earlier and the agendas were full, so we apologize.
I then had 3 specific comments that I wanted to just quickly ask.
Please do.
Item A, on the same lot where principal use is a legally established single-family dwelling, does that, so where does that leave legally non-conforming residences? It's legally
think-
established.
I'll leave that one to the solicitor because I'm not sure myself.
I can answer that.
Go ahead, Mr. Hanley.
Legally established means it is there. It could be not legal non-conforming. Say, for instance, they built the house too close to a side property line. But at the time, there wasn't a requirement for the 8-foot setback. The zoning ordinance changed to 8 foot, but the house is only 4 foot. That's a legally established
Okay, well,
residence.
okay, so that answers that question. Thank
Is
you.
that good, Tony?
Yeah,
Did real good.
I said it better myself. That's why I had to say it.
next.
Item, I don't know, it's after K.
And then after K.
Yeah, no proposed ADUs that are part of a larger development proposal such as, if they're part of a larger development, such ADUs shall not be counted towards the density of the proposed project. This is from the statute, I assume, yes?
Yes.
Which is really difficult language. Surprise, surprise. I will tell you that there will be a number of people in some neighborhoods who will be very unhappy with saying that we can approve Well, and actually it came up during the Settlers Green proposal where there are the 12 new house lots. And it was pointed out that each of those house lots could add an ADU also, which, be that as it may, it was a recognition that in addition to those 12 house lots, there's the possibility for additional 12 ADUs, as there's an addition of, 5,000 ADUs throughout town for the 5,000 dwelling units that we have around town. I just wanted to raise that as an awareness, and if it's in the statute and we can't deal with it, I wanted to just put out there, I happen to like it, but I'm a really strong affordable housing advocate and housing expansion advocate. But I also recognize the frustrations that the other side of the argument has, and I wanted to put that before the council to be aware.
Is that all?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. DeSisto, anything else?
No.
All right, so a motion's been taken to send that along. Next, we have,
Did we vote on it? I don't even
I
think
thought we voted.
we didn't even make a motion.
Make a motion.
I thought we
It was
made a
the first
motion to
reading.
send it to the planning board. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
We're also making a motion for the first reading.
That's the first reading.
First reading.
Yep.
well, that's next, now, right now. Is there a motion to
No,
pass?
don't pass the first reading yet?
Yeah,
This is the first reading.
Right.
So the motion should be
Set up the. Go
set the
ahead.
matter down for a public hearing at the January meeting. That would be the second reading, but also a public hearing.
Yeah.
Also direct the clerk to
Forward it to the planning board.
forward it to the planning board, but also advertise in accordance with the statute.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, chapter 2, article 3, division 1, town manager, section 2-61. This is the budget, first reading. This is in front of you. It's 04. You all see it?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna read it all down.
You discussed this at your last meeting. I drafted it at the request of Councilman Rigo on this. This would add a new section to the Code of Ordinances relating to the duties of the town manager. And it states that in addition to the duties of the town manager set forth in section 4.04 of the town charter.
So do I have to read this?
No. But basically what it is what you discussed at the last meeting in what was on the agenda at the last meeting. This would give some requirements as town manager to keep the town council informed as to the fiscal and budgetary status of the town throughout the year. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
Basically, it's just to keep the budget process consistent on a yearly basis.
Are there any questions? There a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So that means it'll be down for a second reading in the January meeting.
Do we need to send it or it just automatically happens?
You've approved the first reading.
Thank you. Next, we have 05, chapter 13, offenses and miscellaneous provisions. Article 1, section 13-1, hunting prohibited, exception. The amendment of this ordinance will allow for bow and arrow hunting as well as nuisance permits. This was, would have been brought by a number of people, but Mr. Trombley brought it in. So go right ahead, Mr. Trombley.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I will defer a bit to a member of the public who is here to talk with more experience, but I've received several communications from folks in the community about the deer becoming overpopulated and causing some problems in town in terms of vegetation and specifically our farmers. And it has been brought to my attention that the hunting ordinance we currently have, which prohibits hunting in all forms, and does not make exception for nuisance permits, it concerns me that that might not hold up in court if it was challenged, because the state is authorizing certain farmers in the community to practice nuisance permits, which allows to hunt deer to protect their crops. And as you can see, there's an attached photo as well as a video of some of the destruction of the fields and that has occurred in Warren. And in looking at what Bristol has done, Bristol has allowed, as I think we all know, some degree of bow and arrow hunting, and they have I think, been able to address the overpopulation of deer in a humane way. And I think that there's really two parts to this. The first part would allow farmers that have the nuisance permits to conduct them in accordance with state law. Under a nuisance permit, you can be granted bow and arrow hunting. You can also be granted shotgun hunting. So that is a step up from what Bristol would allow. However, what this would also do is allow for hunting with a bow and arrow on properties in Warren where there is at least 3 acres or more. So it encourages, I think, at least addressing this problem with the bow and arrow process before going towards the nuisance permits, but also allows us to conform with state law and state practices. And with that, I think the video, which unfortunately, I guess the technological difficulties that people online cannot see, but I have nothing more. I'll turn it over to, I hope, a member who is still here of the community who can speak to the nuisance permit issue. There he is. So thank you, Mr. President, for your indulgence. I also take any questions from my other council people.
It's just a quick one. So does this ordinance, like Bristol allows firearms, does this ordinance in Warren, would it just allow for archery or also firearms?
So that's a great question. So if you have a nuisance permit, then it would allow for whatever the state allows. So if the state allows you to use shotguns in hunting, then you would be allowed to do that. However, if you are not allowed to do that under state law, then it would be the bow and arrow is what we're authorized.
So a farmer would just get a nuisance permit, correct?
Wait,
Yeah.
let me just add one thing, because we had discussion at the department head meeting. These are two completely separate issues. A nuisance permit is separate, so we're taking the hunting now. This isn't gonna, first, there are gonna be 2 votes, Mr. DeSisto, as we discussed, correct?
Correct.
Because they're 2 separate issues. So what Mr. Tromley's bringing up is that there's no hunting allowed in Warren. He's brought in some language, 3 acres, and so right here, a landowner in Warren possessing 3 acres or more, or the designees in accordance with state laws may engage in archery hunting. And that's the first thing that we're discussing, because right now in Warren's ordinances, that's not allowed. So we're gonna do these separately.
Perfectly fine.
If anybody wants to speak on this issue, the issue on the floor right now is the hunting with bow and arrow. Ms. Flanagan.
You're patient to keep hearing from me. I'm on the Warren Land Trust. Land Trust has discussed in the past the overabundance of deer on our properties and the impacts it has on habitat. We don't have a policy about it yet, in part because of the ban in Warren, but we have discussed the possibility of doing deer culling. Because of that, we would always do it with bow contracted licensed bow hunters, just saying that the land trust would be in favor of being able to use this option to control the habitat.
Thank you.
Anthony, would they be allowed because it's worded as a landowner, the land trust would be allowed to do this through their designees, obviously, because you can't, an LLC can't. shoot
That's
a bow.
correct. Yes, they
Okay.
would be allowed to do so.
Anyone else from the public want to speak?
Sean?
Well,
Well,
he's here
I
on a
think-
separate issue. I mean, if you want to speak on the bow hunting, you can, but
I think
it's, I mean, you don't have to, Sean. Feel free.
But come forward if you are.
I mean, if you want to speak, speak.
Basically,
Say, state your name and that.
I'm Sean Thibodeau. I live at 79 Long Lane. The deer have just obviously been out of control. I do encourage the hunting. I understand the archery part of it. So I am pushing for that because I would like to see it, because then it allows me to bring in people during the hunting season to then take all, to kind of clean things up and try to make it a little better.
Good point.
So
Thank you.
that's all I can speak on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Hanley.
I would just like to hear from the police chief, his thoughts on this. Any concerns?
Chief Borges, do you have anything you want to add to this discussion?
We discussed this at the department head meeting and not against it. I think spoke to the solicitor. I think it's if there is any liability to the town.
And by passing this, there isn't a liability to the town for passing it. In other words, if something bad were to happen, it doesn't go back to us because we allowed this and then something bad happened. Correct?
And the other issue, would there be like a time period of when this could be done, the firearms, that could be?
Oh, no,
time of
this isn't the
day?
firearms. That's the
Oh,
nuisance.
the other.
This is allowing deer hunting, which would take into account the state hunting season.
That's what in accordance to state laws. that's-
State law.
yeah.
So there's two parts to this audience.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I was a little confused.
And actually, just to expand on what you've all just said, this would authorize hunting in the town of Warren, subject to all of the regulations that the state has for hunting, and that's actually a very, as you know, very regulated activity.
Through DEM.
So anything that happens here in Warren would also have to comply with state law.
I'm good.
Okay.
In other words, they would have to follow the state's hunting season.
Correct.
Correct, yes.
And get a permit and the tag or whatever process. And if anybody has any questions, Mr. Silva, although he's our harbor master, he understands the laws. I don't mean us, I mean the town people. You're here. So I guess the best advice would be to call DEM if anybody has any questions about state hunting. So is there a motion to approve this first part?
I'll make a motion, we approve 13-1.1 sections A and B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
So that means the first reading is approved and it'll be set down for a second reading at the January meeting.
Correct. Now we're discussing a whole separate issue. This is to reduce deer abundance and associated negative impacts, hunting of deer by landowners or their designees upon their property in accordance with state laws, provided that such landowners shall have been granted authority by the state or its subsidiaries to conduct such activities shall be permitted. So what's happening here is usually state law supersedes town law. Farmers get a nuisance permit, but Warren's ordinance says you can't fire a firearms. Is that correct? So what the farmers are looking for is a relief from the statute, would allow the use with state and police inspection as long as they meet the requirements. The firearm could be used now, a shotgun. Anybody want to add anything to that?
No, I do have a question though.
Please feel
And
free.
I'm sure it's probably covered by state law, but the proximity of other houses, is there a certain footage away
Yes.
they have to be covered by the state?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, the town manager had asked the person at DEM that's assigned to hunting activities if to come down and answer those questions. Unfortunately,
They were unable to come.
he's on family leave right now. We'll get you those for the second reading, but yes, there are
I got it,
requirements.
John. And this probably wouldn't allow, this is a farmer's nuisance permit. This isn't hunting.
Right.
It's not something somebody could do on their land unless they're already a designated farmer, agricultural use.
It's- Would the 3 acres or more apply as
No,
well?
no.
I think most of the farms are in Warren are about 50 acres or so, or larger, so it's even more of a requirement there.
The two don't come in together.
No.
See, what you need
Mr.
to
Reagan.
do is, oh, I'm sorry.
I just, so right now, a farmer has the right to use a shotgun to shoot deer, correct?
No,
No,
No.
They don't, not with slugs or
the
anything?
town of Warren says you can't shoot a
So
firearm.
he can do it with a bow and arrow. No, correct?
No, because it's all
No.
hunting. All hunting is prohibited under the current statute or ordinance, which is why this change.
Oh,
But
okay.
The nuisance permit does allow a bow.
We don't have a nuisance permit
The
ordinance.
state,
Or
the
the
state
state.
permit does allow the nuisance permit. The problem with the nuisance permit is that the state allowed shotgun
Yeah.
and the shotgun in Warren isn't allowed per ordinance.
Well, it
So
is.
we're asking, no, it's
I
not.
belong to the gun club.
I know, it's not allowed.
Well, we shoot there all the time, so I guess.
You don't
it's-
shoot nuisance on a farm deer.
So,
Thank you.
take that back.
So.
Do you eat clay pigeon, Louis?
No, you know, it's funny, I was shooting this weekend and they were right in front of us. They're not afraid.
I've been there when it walked right across.
Can I
Um,
just make a suggestion?
Please.
And it's very technical in section 13-1.2, where it says authority by the state or its subsidiaries. Could that subsidiaries be eliminated and changed to departments or agencies?
Yeah.
Mr. Tromley, is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to that effect. Great technical amendment, only corrects, really just clarifying that it's the Department of Environmental Management. Or if that were to change in any future situation, that it would still be under whatever appropriate agency.
I'll
Make
second.
those amendments.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, is there a
Thank you.
motion to approve this and pass it to the next reading?
I will make a motion, we approve 13-1.1. No, excuse me,
Two.
dot 1.2 for nuisance permits, to the second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have ordinance 5, chapter 13, offenses and miscellaneous provisions, article 1, section 13, hunted, prohibited. Oh, no.
No, we
did
did
that.
Did
that.
that. Thank you.
We're on to petition.
We're on.
Do it again.
We're on to a victualling license. So, let's see, where is Diego? Diego, how are you? Come on down. You're here to ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Because we hear your new cafe is going along great. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving right along, isn't it?
Yeah, so just adding another thing to my restaurant.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Alrighty, so it's gonna be, I know lately it's been a lot of coffee shops coming to the town.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be just a breakfast, vegan, vegetarian breakfast place. I even brought a menu if you guys wanna take
Great.
a look at it. So.
Good, put it in the record. And it's right upstairs.
Yep. It's on the
And
second floor
Your
and,
liquor license covers the whole building if you wanted to serve liquor.
yeah.
You still have to follow all the laws.
Mhm.
And are there any questions of the applicant?
What will your hours of operation, Monday through
No, just Wednesday to Sunday.
Wednesday to Sunday?
So yeah, we're not gonna open for lunch downstairs, so just gonna open on the second floor,
From,
8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
awesome.
and just dinner time, so tacos and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Make a motion to approve?
What?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
See you later. I'll see you for lunch or breakfast. Next, we have a request for a Class F beverage license, and this is from Chief Souza. The date is Sunday, December 13th. No, it should, I'm reading my correction. It's Saturday, the 13th. And that's from 4 to 8, and that's at the fire department headquarters. This is for the Warren Fire Department's 225th anniversary fundraiser. Anything you want to add to that?
Nope, 2027 is our 225th year. We're just starting fundraising for that year.
Okay.
I just want to make sure he clears it with the fire chief before he,
I gotta sweep the floors beforehand and then clean up after, yeah.
Make a motion to approve?
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And thank you. Next, we have a request for a Class F beverage license from Elizabeth Fonara. And this is 20 Libby Lane. And this is Saturday, December 20, Sunday. Geez, these corrections are killing me. Again, Sunday there and Saturday here, Saturday, Sunday. It's, this one is on Sunday.
Yes.
And this is December 21st. And this is at the Senior Center, Andreozzi Hall.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about your event.
I'm the president of the Tenants Association. I've been there about 5 years as president. Mr. Vigo knows, he's seen me there. Every year we have a Christmas party. And we have it 5 to 9. We used to have it later, but because they're seniors, they started walking away a lot earlier.
Yep.
So, but they're adults. They like to have, a glass of wine,
Sure.
beer with their dinner. I can see that. Because we get an expensive dinner from a restaurant in Warren. They come down and they cook the ribeye steaks to order. And,
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd be there, but I'm gonna be in the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm having my hand fixed. Is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Is there-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Hi, Betty.
apologize for my absence, but have a great time.
Thank you
Merry
very
Christmas.
much.
Next, we have page 5. Request permission to relocate pole P6 plus -40 or something. I don't know what's that mean.
plus or minus 40 feet to the north.
Thank you, John. I must be at what a state,
That's actually construction,
There you
and all
go.
kinds of stuff. That's when they're
So-
not, that's when they're not sure.
not sure where it's gonna go. So they want to put a pole out on Emery Road. Are there any questions?
My only question is, this thing was dated a year ago, 10/25/24. I don't think it has a matters, but just thought I'd bring it up.
Well, yeah, we're finally getting around to actually doing it, I guess. So is there a motion?
Well, we don't have a checklist, which we probably should, to make sure police, fire, and DPW have signed off on this.
Well, we can do that contingent on police and fire approval.
You get, Boston, I have reviewed,
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
thank you,
make a
John.
motion, we approve the relocation of P6 plus or minus 40 feet to the north.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now,
I second, sorry.
you seconded, it's okay. So now we had correspondence, we already did, but we have C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. So we have a letter from Economic Development Board member Paul Thomas resigning, Paul Thomas Gordon, excuse me. Would
Joe,
we-
I would like to make a motion that the town clerk send out a letter of appreciation
Yep.
to all of the people resigning from their positions, and also to advertise for the positions that are being vacated.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That should
Trying
go
to spit that out.
C3, C4, C5. With the proper put it.
Next, we have the town manager, and this is discussion and action and authorization for the town council president to sign an engineer services agreement, extension of an on-call contract with Fuss and O'Neill. Good evening, Mr. Manager.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. This is, I received a letter from Fuss and O'Neill. They are a town engineer that currently we use. And apparently we have continued to contract with them annually. This year, for some unknown reason, it fell through the cracks, from both the town and Fuss and O'Neill. And I was informed by Brian Courts that in October, at the end of October, requesting that this proposal be brought to the council to extend the contract for another year, which would have gone back to July 1st of 25 and go until June of 26. Mr. Courts is here as well. The council has any questions?
Is there any increase in the fee, or is it continuing the same fee as the previous contract?
That was my question.
That was my question.
There is a, the old contract, there was a 3% increase in the fee annually. So the current rate for, and I do have the rates here. I apologize for not getting that to you.
I think that's.
When we ask them to come here to a council meeting and they sit here all night, are they getting paid as an engineer, $220 an hour?
I think so.
We should move them to the front of the agenda then.
Good.
I've never received a bill for that, Mr. President.
Oh,
Well, then-
whatever. Everybody's got a.
So there's been a 3% gradually every year, right? From the
Yeah.
day we started. Okay, and I had called them this
It's-
morning and asked that question.
It's on, it goes, it's in here, Willis, if you look.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Been
I-
current
yeah, I
language,
saw
I mean, past language. So are there any other questions on the Fuss and O'Neill?
Yeah, make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have discussion and action for the town council to approve what the manager has done in regards to hiring Mary Hunt as the interim deputy director for Public Works, and this will be from January 5th, 2026, or until about April 1st, 2027. Ms. Hunt's here, if you'd like to come on down. Ms. Hunt's a town resident, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your hopes and desires here as you come in?
Mr. President, can I
Right
just?
ahead.
Yeah. So as you said, I'm looking for the support to bring Ms. Hunt on as the interim Deputy Public Works Director. As you all know, and I'm not sure if the public knows that our current Public Works Director, Mr. Wheeler, is going to be deploying with the Rhode Island National Guard on a mission to Africa. That deployment takes place in April of 26, and it lasts for 1 year until April of 27. And although Mary is new to municipal public work, she does have experience in managing large marinas, which brings strong leadership skills with her. She has the ability to work collaboratively with both administrative customers and employees. She has a vast knowledge in emergency management, emergency medical. She's an emergency medical technician, so she's ability to think and act in stressful situations. In my conversations that I've had with Mary, she understands that she'll be working with legacy employees, people who have specialized skills and knowledge, and she knows she has to take advantage of those individuals to be successful, both for her and the town to be successful. And as you said, I'm looking to have Mary start January 5th, excuse me, of 2026. And it may appear to be a little bit early because when you say Mr. Wheeler is leaving in April, so, but he does have other obligations to the military between January 1st and April. He'll be out of the country the last 2 weeks of January. There'll be some other training dates that I'm sure that he's going to have to attend to. And I want to be able to give a continuity of operations with Mr. Wheeler and Mary so that she has a full grasp and knowledge and understanding of what needs to be done and what needs to take place at the Public Works Department.
Sounds good. Ms. Hunt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Mary Hunt, 50 Wheaton Street. I am honored to be approached to take on this role. I look forward to working with Mr. Sullivan, with Mr. Wheeler. We've had positive discussions so far. I know the town. I love the town. It is a good time for me to move into something municipal. It's a different world, but one that I look forward to getting to work in. I am looking to hold down the fort while Mr. Wheeler completes his service, and working with the council as well to meet any needs that come up. I'm used to managing large crews. I'm used to heavy equipment. I'm used to the elements, all the things that are required of this role. So I appreciate your consideration.
Any questions or welcome aboard?
My question is, and I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to get it out to the public. So where is the funding for this going to come from?
We're not going to be paying Mr. Wheeler while he's gone.
I just want to get that into the record, Joe. So when I get a phone call saying you're adding another position, how are you paying for it? At least now I don't have to get that phone call, hopefully.
They have it. And there's also some funding that's available in the employment line, salary line. Well, welcome aboard, and we're going to support you as best we can.
Yep.
And see you at work.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, very welcome.
So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we support the manager's appointment of Mary Hunt as the interim deputy public works director.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have discussion and action on consent from the town council. Discussion and action regarding a memorandum of understanding and with single point of contact concerning an upgrade to the code red alert warning system with REMA, Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency.
Yes, Mr. President, this, as you mentioned, it is an upgrade to the current code red system that the town has already implemented and using. Rhode Island EMA is going to a more robust program. But in order for us to participate with that, we have to sign a memorandum of understanding. And we also have to assign someone as a point of contact, and that would be the EMA director and fire chief, Chief Souza.
Mr. DeSisto, did you read this language and approve its legality?
I did, yes.
Is there a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have update the town council directives to the town manager. What I was hoping we could do with this, Mr. DeSisto, correct my language if I'm wrong. So every month we get the managers, every week we get the weekly report. What I was hoping is that we could also include this in the weekly report so that the council would know what our directives were, what's been checked off, where it's going. Is that okay, Mr. DeSisto?
Yes.
So you can speak, sure.
I kind of like having this communication on a monthly basis, just to make sure things are happening.
And what I didn't like was the grilling last month.
Well, that was not my intention.
I understand it. A lot of times it's no one's intention how things put it off, but I think if we get the report and you want to pull something every week, you'd look at weekly this report instead of every month. And then when the council meeting were to come, if there's a reason to have a council action on an item, you could put it on the agenda.
I kind of like having a 2-minute conversation. That way everyone knows what's happening.
Okay.
A lot of these things take up a lot of time, putting it on the agenda, talking about it, and all of a sudden we forget about it. And I don't really want to forget about it, then, because if we do, then I'm just wasting my time and nothing happens. So if you don't mind, Brian,
Oh, I don't mind.
2 seconds. So the first thing we can even take off of there, and that's for the maintenance easements for Market Street, because we are working with the Flood and Drainage Committee. And so when we're ready for those easements, then we'll bring them up again.
Right, and I could just let you know that the Public Works Director has come up with a beginning list of properties. He's reached out to the solicitor, and they've had conversation. The solicitor would like a little bit more detail in order to get those easements going, but we have been working on that.
That's good. As far as the lamppost, we did meet last week and spoke to him, so we're moving along in that.
And we did get I believe we got a quote back from Mr. O'Brien, and I believe it's $1,400 for fixing the top of the lamppost and not taking the whole lamppost apart where we're opposed to like
You have
4,000.
numbers. I'll sit down with you one of these days and we can go over it. As far as the state roads, Child Street came out beautiful. Still concerned about Medicum Avenue and Market Street. As far as the annual performance, is that something that we're still working on with?
So I have met with the department heads. I gave them a draft proposal of the evaluation. I've asked them to give me some feedback on that. And this Thursday, myself and 5 department head members are going to be going to the trust. The trust is going to be having a training on performance of appraisals and understanding the supervisor's role and the rating system and how to turn appraisals into a positive and growing experience for everyone involved.
That's great. The next one, discussion and action, town manager obtain costs for time management. That's something we're going to be talking about next, right? With the
Yes, with the
and then this last one is discussion and action regarding replacement repairs sidewalks on Medicum Avenue, Kicking Road, Market Street with ADA compliance. And that's something that Joe actually brought up, and that's something that you did send a letter to DOT, and we're still working on trying to get a meeting together between the town and them, correct?
That's correct. We got an email back, and I believe I shared the email with everyone from someone at DOT. I responded back to her asking for a follow-up meeting, and I have not received any.
I guess, Joe, again, you put that on the agenda a couple of months ago, so maybe you and I can work on getting our representatives
We'll
to
try.
push them. That's it. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you. Next, we have we have the update on, no, discussion and action regarding a resolution.
Number
for-
5.
Oh, 5, that's still there? Oh, yeah, but that was the REMA one. I mean, the update on American Rescue Plan Act monies for the financial management system.
Yes, Mr. President, if you recall last meeting, we had the council approved us going with Edmunds Technology for our financial software. And at the time, the council requested that we look into and research how much money we would need to not just implement the software, but also equipment and other things that would, training and those things that would go along with, or would need to go along with the implementation of this new software. And you have before you a memo that I've sat down with the finance director and the budget committee, and we discussed that in total, we would need $88,200 to implement that software in an appropriate way. But that would include 3 years in implementation of the software, some equipment that would be needed for scanners and a new desktop for the finance director. One of the most important things, I think, is training from staff. I think we found that there was a lack of training on both sides that needs to be, make sure that we do that properly. And at times, we may have to train staff at overtime, right? Because it couldn't be done during the day, right, when we're open. Professional development for the finance director. And then we talked about implementing the paperless time management system and bringing that into line with this new financial software. And then a consultant to assist with the transition, make sure we have SOPs in place. One would be make sure that, training is proper, right? We make sure that, somebody that's coming on board, they get the proper training and not just, sit next to her and have her train you, and she might not be doing the right thing. So sometimes that's how that happens.
The consultant, would that be an Edwards employee?
Edmunds,
excuse me.
I don't believe, it wouldn't be an Edmunds employee. It would be, yeah.
And the other question I have is up on the top, the 36,000, is that part of the contract? We voted last month to go with Edmunds. Is that 36 comes out of that, correct? Is that part of it?
Yes, the 36 would be 3 years of
Right,
the
so that was,
contract.
but we already approved the 36, so technically we're down to like 50 more than we voted on last.
I don't recall if we voted on any set amount. but-
We hold on.
We agreed to go, I think.
Yeah, I thought we did approve going with Edmunds on the bid, but we did put an up to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So now this is the whole thing.
Right.
So it would include that.
It's important to know that I think we had from ARPA money like $200,000.
Correct.
So I think the next step also is to try to figure out what we're gonna do with the difference and come up with some suggestions.
Well, what I think they're going to do is look at all of the completed projects and costs, and then give us a list of where the what the surplus may be.
Mhm.
And so that's gonna be next. Mr. Marshall, you have anything you want to add to this?
No,
If you,
we are reconciling, I'm reconciling to figure out exactly what's there.
right. But I mean, do you have anything you want to say about the Edmonds?
No, I think we covered it. pretty well.
Everything's good? All right, so a motion to approve the $88,000.
Do we need
$200?
It says update. Do we need a motion?
I don't know.
I
thought
think
it
we
was-
do. I don't think,
I'd recommend that you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve 88,200
Is there a second?
In the form is set forth in the memo.
in the form is set forth in the memo. Thank you,
Yes.
Tony.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have discussion and action regarding a resolution for a non-restoring line of credit to facilitate the payment of project costs for Janiel's Park Restoration Pumping Project.
Thanks, Mr. President. This actually has come from the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank. If you recall back in October, we talked about getting a line of credit from the Infrastructure Bank to cover the grants for J Mills Park that we would have to normally put money up for and get reimbursed for. But the Infrastructure Bank is going to allow us to have a line of credit, 250,000 to withdraw from that, draw down from that to pay off the, those grants and then reimburse it when we get reimbursed by the grants.
Mr. Rego has a couple of questions.
Again, I don't have a problem with this. I just don't know if we're gonna need to utilize it. So if we vote on this, doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna utilize it, correct?
Well, it's correct, but the way it's been laid out to us, although the funding is coming from the same agency that's giving us the loan, they don't look at it like, it must not be called coming out of the same room.
Yeah.
So all of the accountants over there,
So,
they're giving us the grant and it's a reimbursement grant. So then we're gonna get a reimbursement, then we're gonna get this $250,000 line of credit. We're gonna stop the process. First bill's gonna come in and we're gonna be able to reimburse.
from what I
mean, we're gonna be
understand-
able to pay it and then they will reimburse us.
from what I understand, we're gonna,
1.3% interest.
so what, for that? No, it's only a 1.5% upfront cost.
1.3, yeah.
But anyways, the way I understand it, there's three parts to this project. Is we're gonna get a 100% grant from Municipal Resilience Program awarded through the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank, correct? That's 100%. We don't need any.
But
other
that's a
fund.
reimbursable grant, meaning
All of it,
we would have to pay for it.
And then they pay
get
us
the money
back.
when it's
That's
done.
the glitch.
Because of our budget crisis, that's why we're doing this. So if we need to do this before we get reimbursed, it's not like pay as you go. It's a reimbursement.
Just covering us.
We would have to expend all of that money
But
before
just,
we got it
but
back.
just hold on. So I thought the 1.2 was not, that was 100%.
Yeah, the 1.2 from the infrastructure bank, they'll just pay that out. We don't have to pay that upfront.
So
The concern is with the Rhode Island DEM grant and the SNAP, I think it's SNAP grant, that those are the reimbursable ones where we would have to pay out of pocket first.
And then-
Request
I
reimbursement.
guess the question is with the time frame and all of that. So I think we could probably financially, but again, I have no problem voting on this. But my concern is that this was done 3 years ago. This goes back to 2023. Did we get a price back in 23, or do we have to go out for bidding and start the whole process again? I mean-
Mr. Wheeler, please come on down. The problem is at the time that this was applied for probably 4 years ago. And when we received the grant, we had a planner and we were just in our crisis. So we tabled it. Now it's come around where we've gotten the help from the committee, help from yourself, know where we are fiscally, as well as asking for this bridge loan. And we're now starting back again on the project.
Yeah, so Fussin O'Neill has actually been working on this project. They submitted with our help through for approvals through DEM. And then I believe the goal is to go out for a bid in the spring.
Oh, we have somebody here?
So,
Oh, come on down.
He didn't stay for nothing, you know.
You're getting paid by the hour. We hope. Probably.
Now he is.
So please tell us who you are and
My name is Brian Courts. I'm a vice president with Fussin O'Neill.
big names.
So my concern, Brian, is, as you know, I don't know where we're at with this project. It was 3 years ago, so I don't even know if these numbers are going to align. Are we going to have enough? So I don't even know who is going to even run this project. Would it be you, or would it be the highway director?
So currently we are under contract as the engineer for the project. All the permits have been submitted. They're being reviewed right now by DEM, CRMC. So the engineering part is ongoing right now. The anticipation is once we get permits about springtime, we'll go out to construction to get bids. So we've secured grants up to $2 million a couple of years ago. And that was the anticipation at the time. That's what the construction would be. But of course, we'll know when we get actual hard bids.
So those grants are still available, correct?
Yes,
They haven't
are actually,
disappeared.
they were just extended a few more years to allow us to finish the construction.
So why don't we, is there a reason why we wouldn't go off for RFP now so we know more or less what it's going to cost?
Typically it's better once you have your permits in hand, so you know exactly what they need to build.
Okay,
There's
makes
typically a lot of comments back and forth with the permitting agencies that could change the design So we prefer when we can to wait, so we have a hard set of plans to tell the contractors what to build.
So once we have all that, are you the person in charge or would it be a town person? Who pretty much takes the charge on this to make sure it happens?
We would assist the town in putting the bids out, administering the bids, reviewing the bids, but the RFP comes from the town. So we would work with town manager and DPW director on it.
So you understand where I'm coming from? I think we need all that information before we start worrying about the financial aspect of it.
Well,
Sure.
we have the
We gotta
fighting,
make sure
we
we
have,
get the money.
we need the money and we have the money. And he's in process.
Right, again, that's my point. You say you had the money, but 3 years ago, whatever the money you assumed would be, I'm sure there's a big difference. So we just gotta get our ducks in a row. That's all.
We're gonna do it. We're
Okay.
Yeah,
lining
the
up
grants
ducks.
are secured, the amount of money is secured. So that's a hard number of what the grants are, have given the town.
Okay.
And this will be a big job for Miss Hunt. We got it right on and that's who's gonna be dealing with us. So what do we need from us? A motion to approve the resolution. Thank you. I didn't know you were here all night.
You will when you get the bill.
Yeah. So a motion to approve the resolution for non-restoring line of credit to facilitate the payment of project costs for J Mills Park Restoration Capping Project.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you can go.
Yeah. You really don't have to stay. Thank you.
And of course, we go back to the hour, right? If we go back, so that, you know.
But we'll find out if we're paying him by the hour. If he doesn't leave.
Well, no, but it goes back to the last
No,
hour.
but
The last
I-
15 minutes don't count.
Oh,
They're gonna change where we are.
we find humor in small places. It's not personal. Next, we have the solicitor, discussion and action regarding statutory notice claim for damages filed by Diane Mariani. Is there a motion to deny and send to the trust?
I'll make a motion, we deny and refer it to the trust.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, we have the finance director, Mr. Marshall. We have fiscal year 25-26 revenues and expenditures. Everybody get that?
So just to go over it quickly, the only issue I see is, on the finance department, the outside services and, under shared services, the, audit line item, they're both creeping over. This is due to us needing the outside help to get ready to complete the audit. The one that we just finished and the new one now. I wouldn't do anything with it right now. I'd like to get a better sense of what we're gonna need and where we can get it from before I'll ask you to move something around. So,
Okay. Thank you for being on top of that.
on the cash balance sheet, we have, as of the end of November, we had almost $4 million. That's a comfortable place to be in. That'll comfortably get us to the next collection cycle. We also, we had the the money from the, escapes me now. The lawsuit money. We had $2 million in a 12-month CD. I removed, it came due November 20th. I removed $1 million that's gonna come into this year's budget. And I renewed the other $1 million for another 12 months. The $1 million I removed, I put into a 1-month CD. So we'll get a little bit of interest. It doesn't look like we're gonna need it for a little while, so
Right.
maybe we'll do that for a couple of times until it looks like we need it.
Sure.
So, but yeah, other than that, everything's good.
Any questions, Mr. Marshall?
Yeah, so Gary, you're working with the opera funds, correct?
Yes.
I guess that's all I have for you. Good work, Gary.
Thank you. Next, we have the tax assessor. We have additions to the 25 tax roll in the amount of $2,888,034. This was new construction and a new lot.
Hello.
Hi. Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Is there a motion to approve these addition?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have. Well, you look nice. Next, we have,
I don't look nice normally?
I thought
No,
that was where, you
Yeah,
know,
just checking.
he never learns.
I was just
He
checking.
never learns.
known you long enough to walk into the left hand, the right hand. Go
I was
ahead.
prepared.
Yep. Next, we have discussion and action regarding an increase in summer camp fees.
Yes, so we haven't increased in a while. And so I'm following, we kind of follow what Bristol does, so.
Okay, and you don't think this will be a hardship, or it's a resident and you're not?
So we have financial assistance for residents.
Okay.
So if
And
there
you're-
are, yes, and if there are any families that need it, we would never turn a family away.
Great. Is there a motion to approve this schedule?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And next we have beach fees.
So the beach fees, this goes along with the state's new requirement for sales tax and
Sales tax on what?
on parking.
Oh, right, yes.
7% on short-term parking. So this does not affect if a person gets a beach pass. So if a person purchases a beach pass, they are not responsible for the 7%. But for short-term parking, which is 1 day, that we are responsible for paying the 7%. But at the beach, we deal with cash. So I don't really want the staff working in pennies and dimes and dollars. So I've spoke with the other East Bay communities. And so this is kind of the same pattern that they're following.
Very clever.
Any questions?
No,
No.
I'm just wondering if next year the state's gonna tax us on the sunshine at the beach.
So it was the intention of it was to tax short-term parking in Providence. But then someone had the idea that let's just spread it around the state. And even DEM, who was unaware that this was they had no idea. They did not even tell DEM that they were going to be doing this. And they have to follow this also.
This is right up there, like with charging $15 to our fire chief for a 1-day liquor license. It's right up there. That same thing.
Is
We don't have.
there a motion to approve?
So
Motion to
moved.
approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just one quick
Thank
question.
you.
Kara, are there other fees that you charge in the?
Yes, we charge fees for the pavilion. We charge fees for events at Burrs Hill. We charge fees for the use of Mary V. Quirk. We charge a bunch of fees.
So at budget time, we'd like to look at all of those. So that's why I'm.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the town clerk. Request approval for the 2026 town council meeting schedule. Anybody see any reason why those dates would be unacceptable?
So Jane has her hand up.
Sorry?
Jane. Google.
Hello, are you waving to us or you leaving? They think that, Jane, they think that you're,
Did you want to speak?
oh, sorry, I missed it. I thought you were putting your coat on. I,
On down.
In regard to the beach and the parking fees, I'm not objecting to the parking fees, whatever you decide that they should be.
please come on down and,
Jane McDougal, 500 Water Street. I live on the corner of Water and Hale Street, across from the north end of the beach. And I just wanted to say that I think the beach parking has more to do with the surrounding area than it does just the beach fees. And I think if you're going to increase beach fees or have them at all, that you need to take into account how they affect the neighborhood. And the fact that you're missing out on a lot of fees because people park mainly on, I see mostly on Hale Street. In the summer, we're sitting out on our porch. Cars come down the street, they stop at Hale Street, look up the street. If they can see an empty space, turn right up there, and 5 minutes later, we see them coming down with all their stuff and going to the beach. They're not paying the fees. This can be a car from Massachusetts that would be paying now, what, $20 to come to the beach? And you're missing out on those things. And I have often thought that, I know in Newport, they and other towns where they have beach areas and the people live near the beach, they've restricted, at least put up signs restricting the parking for residents only and not for beach use. That's one thing. Another thing on Hale Street particularly, because we have small lots on Hale Street. And many of the houses only have a driveway that's one car wide. They may have two cars in the driveway, but then they have to shuffle them all the time. So somebody will often park in the street in front of their house because it's inconvenient. And the street on a Sunday in the summer is packed with cars, packed, you know, and I think there needs to be some other attention paid to the fact that maybe some signs that at least discourage beach parking from being on the street. Same thing at the top of Bridge Street. They get a lot of traffic too, because everybody's trying to avoid paying to go to the beach. And have you ever considered something like a pay and display type of machine at the parking lot? Because not everyone who comes to the beach wants to stay for the whole day or pay $20 to be there for 2 hours or 3 hours or have lunch there and then leave. And yet they would have to pay if they came when the beach is open and they were collecting fees.
Well, we hope people buy the season pass.
Well, how many do?
Ms. Thibodeau can tell us a lot. That's the biggest number. Please, and we're not holding you to it, but Mr. DeSisto, is this appropriate discussion?
Well, you're actually trending past the Open Meetings Act, because this was just about charging the fees, really a separate issue.
So we'll have
as
to,
whether or not it should be expanded.
so Ms. McDougal, we
Oh,
can put this on
okay.
the agenda for discussion. And Ms. Thibodeau will be prepared and we can
Okay.
try to look at this next season. I mean, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, and it happens like my neighborhood with restaurants. Monday, there's plenty of parking. Thursday,
Right,
plan your day.
right. But you're not charging the people at the
No, I understand. I'm
restaurants,
just
so
saying-
you're not losing money either.
Right, so we could take a look at this and you'll know, and hopefully you can come to the meeting.
Okay,
If not January, February, we'll try to get this on
yeah.
and look at a parking policy for the.
Yeah, I think it would be an easy fix.
You probably should look at something before next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parking
And the other
policy
thing
for sure.
is, I've talked to Mr. Wheeler in the, also about putting lines on Hale Street and probably Bridge Street too, so that you use,
Going past the open meeting.
don't get into it.
Not on the.
I know, okay,
Future meeting, future meeting.
okay.
So thank you, and we'll put
right.
this on the agenda for
Yeah, I
either
think
next
that
month or
Needs to
February.
be more talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I missed you back there. Discussion and action authorizing the town council president to sign a memorandum of understanding between the Rhode Island
I
Department.
think we're
of
still on the
State-
dates.
We're on the what? Oh, the date still. That's right. So,
So.
which one?
Even though I did put them on, because I wasn't sure if the state was going, because they did have some concern on about, some conversation about maybe having a primary in August, but I don't hear anything. So it's September 8th is the primary, so I'd like to change it to September 14th. I cannot do it on the Tuesdays because I have missed court over that days, and I've already bumped them in November, so I don't want to do it then. So I asked that the council change September 8th to.
And with that change, is there a motion to approve?
I'll motion that.
I'll second that, and I also want to note it that I really don't care when the meeting is in December, because the three of us will not be sitting here.
The December meeting?
Yes.
Actually, isn't it,
No, that's what,
September, not December.
no,
September?
we are term limited out. We will not be sitting at the rostrum on the December meeting. Well, I think.
No, we will. We're gonna be here. And the weird thing is I'm gonna sit here until the middle of the meeting and then the president actually
You
gets
got,
picked.
you got to.
We're all here for the middle of the meeting.
In December?
For this motion, You always put in.
No, but I mean what John's thought about, come December.
The December
They don't
meeting is
get
when the
sworn
new
in.
council gets sworn in.
Right, and then as the meeting goes on, the presidency isn't even picked. It's gonna be interesting.
No, but we're not gonna be here. We're not gonna be sitting here in December. We're gonna be in the audience if we're here.
That's what
Well, let's close the meeting. Is
All
there a motion to approve
Mo-
with the
motion-
correction of September 14th?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And maybe we won't be here. Discussion and action, authorization of the town council president to sign a memorandum of understanding by and between the Rhode Island Department of State and the town of Warren. And this is, what is this, trade names?
It used to be done at the local level, state law changed, now it's done at the Secretary of State level. Basic, it's very simple, but we just have to approve it.
You have to approve. It's already been shipped up. This is a memorandum of understanding where the Secretary of State's going to take over a function formerly done by the town clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma.
Sorry. Motion to approve.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Is there